$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend from $15 to $45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise, an equal raise, getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the student, the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are, and I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does in fact have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help, they don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear words.
Sam, if I could just get this sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in so easily, so crazy, so crazy. Dumb people, liberal people can...
Get your words straight, Jack.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Should we have done that sooner?
We are doing it.
But should we have done it sooner?
We are doing it. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's a perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
But the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Get your words straight, Jack. Get your words straight, Jack.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Goddamn. I'm here once again. I'm alive. I've made it. I've lived another day. Somehow it's happened. Don't ask questions, just ride it out. So we're here once again. I've survived yet another day. I woke up and survived. I survived the sleep. I survived my sleep. And I slept and I survived my sleep. And now I'm here. So that's the domino effect of what led to this program. And so we got some users in the chat. Hello, users. Got a program here going on. You might be thinking, this bitch is on drugs. Nope. The only drug I'm on is coffee, which, let's be honest, coffee, pretty fucking heavy of a drug. So yeah, I'm on drugs right now. And I'm not even done the cup. You might notice that the cup there's still a lot left. So, and so I'm here, I'm alive. Let me fix this camera here. Got that weird slanted angle. And so, I'm alive. So I've decided to live. I made that decision. I was faced with a decision, and that proved to provide a lot of consternation. And that decision was in regards to whether or not I should live. And so I chose to live, and yet I'm here. So that, it's a very, you do that, and then you this, and then proof this is live. Check that out. Check it out. 10/12, June 6th, Monday. That's my phone. Look at that. It's Max the dog. There you go. So proof. That I'm here. And so I'm alive. So anyway, let's start today's show with some words of wisdom. We got some words of wisdom here from President Robinette. And so we're going to see what Robinette has to say. So let's listen.
Elon Musk has said that he has a super bad feeling about the U.S. economy. He's hanging off 10%. You say to Elon Musk about his feeling about the economy. Jamie Dimon has said similar things.
Well, let me tell you, while Elon Musk is talking about that, Ford is increasing their investment overwhelmingly. I think Ford is increasing the investment in building new electric vehicles, 6,000.
I'm sorry. This is so good. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff in this clip. But this, he just like, where is this? Like, he has, like, a pocket, like, right here? Like, is that standard? I don't wear suits because I'm not a fucking prick. Like, is anyone who's ever worn a suit, are there typically pockets, like, right here? Is that like the presidential suit has your little note card just ready just in case? I mean, like, honestly, you can't blame him for that. Like, you know, he wants to get the facts right, you know? Can you really blame, the 80 fucking 7,000-year-old president can't remember the fucking random sequence of numbers, right? Honestly, though, it's pretty funny. He just brings out the card. That's great.
Seen their investment overwhelmingly. I think Ford is increasing.
I love it. I think this is true. Let me just check my notes.
Investment in building new electric vehicles, 6,000 new employees, union employees, I might add, in the Midwest. The former Chrysler Corporation, Stellantis, they are also making similar investments in electric vehicles. Intel is adding 20,000 new jobs for making computer chips. You know, lots of luck on this trip to the moon. I mean,
Elon Musk is asked.
Okay, so let's be real here. Let's be honest. Like, the U.S. economy is crumbling. It is failing. That part is true. It doesn't take a genius to understand that the U.S. economy is in shambles, okay? It's over, right? The house of cards is flopping down, right? But it's in slow motion. And there's a lot of people that think, oh, if I just put my hand up like this, the cards won't fall. Oh, if I just put this Band-Aid here, the card... No, the house of cards is falling. Once it starts falling, you can't really stop it from falling. It's just that it's all happening in slow motion. That's my take on the situation. So I do think the economy is crumbling, but the economy is crumbling in part because of these billionaires, these CEOs that are basically deciding to steal as much money as they can and not give it back to the regular citizenry, not give it to their workers, right? Try to take as much money as possible via all these loopholes, fire as many people so that they can pocket the cash, right? So that we need to understand. And then also the president, let's be honest, he also is playing a role, right? Like the American Rescue Plan, decent start, but when he passed that, he said this is just going to be the beginning. What happened to Build Back Better? The bipartisan infrastructure thing, one of the only two things he's actually done in this administration was a corporate handout bill. Right? So, this is garbage. This country is garbage. But that said, optics, right? Because, we have to understand politics is not just being correct. It's not just being factually correct. Okay? A lot of politics, in the same way of debating, a lot of it is optics. It's rhetoric. It's how do you look to an uninitiated audience? And you know what? Biden takes the cake on this. He takes the cake. He has his little note card. He's checking the facts. Are the facts really relevant? Not really, but he's checking the facts. And then this part.
Electric vehicles. Intel is adding 20,000 new jobs for making computer chips.
And then he puts it back.
Lots of luck on this trip to the moon.
Elon Musk is asked.
It's good. This is a banger of a clip. This is a banger. And you know what? This is one of those things where both sides fucking suck. The White House, garbage. CEOs, garbage. Right? So it's just fun. It's just one of those things you just laugh at, Start our day off with some fun stuff. We all like to have fun here at the Above It All Industry Studio program. And so there you go. Drinking a LaCroix. This is not an endorsement. Drinking some goddamn LaCroix. The Instrumental Industries Studios Incorporated of the Above It All programmatic experience. The shiny curtain in the background. This is my Faraday cage that I live in to hide from the cyber ninjas. AKA, I got some shit on the wall. So we got a program here lined up. I lined it up. I lined up the program. You know, I was thinking about not lining up the program. I was thinking about leaving it lined out, lined down. What's the opposite of lined up? Lined down? There's a lot, like, okay, so it's lined up. Would it be like zigzagged down? What is the opposite of lined up? Is there an opposite? Is this just, I don't know. But anyway, so we're zigzagging down. Well, we weren't. I almost zigzagged down. But I chose, instead to do that, I chose to line up the show, and we lined it up, for today. And so, we got a program here. Let's talk about Democrats, should we? I mean, I love Democrats. We love the Democratic Party. Can we, give, a good old for the Democrats? Yay! I love Democrats. Vote blue. Right, y'all? So anyway, I love the Democrats. They're great. Democrats are phenomenal. They're really the best party that has ever existed in the history of humanity. So we have an article here from apnews.com. LGBTQ people urge Democrats to forcefully reject GOP attacks. I love Democrats. You know what I mean? Right? They're great. So, we've got the Republican Party, and they're basically trying to commit a genocide of transgender and gay people, right? And the Democrats are just watching. Isn't that great? It's just television. We just watch it all happen on TV. And so we got this article here. And let's read. The T stands for transgender. A teacher explains in a video on a Maine Department of Education website launching during the coronavirus pandemic. We got some storytelling, some creative writing here. A transgender person is someone who the doctors made a mistake about when they were born, the teacher says in a lesson plan targeted at kindergartners. But some people, when they get a little bit older, realize what the doctor said was not right. It's a decent way of explaining to a 5-year-old. I endorse it. Republicans later produced an ad accusing Democratic Governor Janet Mills, who is running for re-election against GOP former Gov Paul LePage, of using state money to create radical school lessons. Within hours, the lesson disappeared from the website, and Mills' spokesperson said the governor was on board with its removal. I love Democrats, don't you? Isn't that great? So Republicans just lie about you and call you a pedophile, and then you're like, I guess I am a pedophile. Aren't Democrats great? Instead of saying, oh, wait, no, Republicans are fucking crazy, they just remove it, acknowledging that Republicans are truthful when they say that, and they want to win an election? What? What? This is the same thing with the defund the police thing, right? It's like, okay, Democrats, they didn't want to defund the police anyway, but Republicans say, you're going to defund the police! Woo! And then Democrats are like, oh shit, I guess they're right. We're not going to fight back against the rhetoric. I guess they are right. We are going to defund the police. So let's fund the police even more. Why would anyone vote for a Democrat? Why would they do that? Right? Now, obviously, the answer is because they're fucking not fucking fascist, theocratic fucking nationalists, right? That's the answer. And they know that's the answer. And you know that that's the answer. But they got you by the balls. What are you going to do? Democrats will sell you down the fucking river just like that. Do you remember in 2020 with the whole George Floyd uprising? Everyone across the country was like, man, fuck the police. Right? And then Joe Biden was like, funnel that anger and energy into the voting booth. And then we voted for Joe Biden. Okay. And then what'd he do? He's like, okay, let's 3x police funding. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I love Democrats. I'm a huge fan of the Democratic Party. Super fan, actually. I've got their posters on my wall. Holy fuck. All right, let's keep going. While most Democrats support the rights, safety, and visibility of LGBTQ adults and children, they're struggling to counter a barrage of GOP attacks on LGBTQ people, particularly transgender people. With measured responses and occasional capitulation, Democrats like Mills are aiming to avoid getting sucked further into culture wars that serve mostly to galvanize the Republican base. So, okay, Republicans, right? They're galvanized. They're energized. So Democrats, they see that, and they're like, it's working out well for them. So let's do the exact opposite and hope for the best. Like, okay, what? Don't galvanize your base or anything, right? No, you don't want to galvanize your own base. You don't want to energize your base to vote for you. You don't want to do things for your constituents. I mean, again, this fucking shit, man.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Jesus. As Democrats largely avoid direct confrontation, some LGBTQ people say they feel abandoned. Why would you feel abandoned? Kamala Harris just tweeted that she sees you. Did anyone see that? Kamala Harris, the vice president, mind you, tweeted out that she hears us. And not only does she hear us, but she sees us. So I don't know why everyone's freaking out. I don't know why everyone's freaking out about Democrats. They obviously can hear and see us, so... Our lives, this is a quote, and our existence are being used as political fodder to ramp up the GOP base, and they're not coming to our defense, said Deja Alvarez, a transgender woman who finished third in the Democratic primary in a heavily LGBTQ state legislative district in Philadelphia. They are not rallying the troops and saying, hey, we can't stand for this. Democrats are hardly silent on LGBTQ issues. They're hardly silent. What does that mean? Does that mean they're not silent? Because, okay. Here we go, okay. As Pride Month began this week, President Joe Biden tweeted his support for LGBTQ rights. Oh, they're not silent. They tweeted their support. Isn't that great? I feel supported. I feel seen. I'm heard. He recently named Karine Jean-Pierre as the first openly gay White House press secretary. And I didn't even know that until now. This is the first time I've heard this. So good job on marketing that one. Somehow I never heard this yet. Like, what, she's been the press secretary for, what, a month now? I didn't hear this until right now. This is news to me. Okay, but that's cool. And was critical of Florida Republican Gov. Ron DeSantis this year after he signed legislation to ban the discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. So he was critical of someone doing something bad, and he tweeted his support. Isn't that great? This is awesome. I'm super confident with the direction of this country now. Even after she distanced herself from the Department of Education video, Mills released a statement this week ticking through LGBTQ-friendly legislation she has signed. She insisted that if she is reelected, Maine will remain a safe and welcoming place to live for LGBTQ people. Unless you're a teacher or work in the Department of Education, then you get thrown out the fucking window. Throw them into the fucking ocean. Toss them over the border into Canada. We don't need them. That's the thing. It's like, it's always it's the support for queer people when it comes to Democrats is always based on how convenient they perceive it to be at that time. There's never like, oh, we have an ideologically principled stance to defend these people's rights. It's, well, it's a little hot outside, so I don't really feel like it today. Or, I don't know, it's Pride Month, Coca-Cola just updated their fucking banner on Twitter, so I'll hop on the hashtag. You know what? It's always, is it convenient Sure, if it's not convenient, fuck them. It's insane. And in Wisconsin, Democratic Gov. Tony Evers warned that if he loses in November, Republicans will take steps to ban books, especially those with LGBTQ themes. Of course they will. But again, note, like, Tony Evers warned that if he loses in November, Republicans will take steps to ban books. It's not Tony Evers is here for you and he's making Wisconsin a safe place to live if you're transgender. It's, well, it already sucks, but if I lose, it's going to get worse. He's literally, like, the statement isn't, it is literally just campaigning on, that guy's going to ban some books about drag queens, so vote for me. What? That's your... I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. In fact, I might even go as far as to say that I already lost it. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Evers' approach is one activist saying more Democrats should embrace this election year. Oh, really? Okay. I'm glad that the activists, I wonder who these activists are. But, you know, these are good activists. I'm sure I would agree with them on a multitude of issues. They want to see candidates go beyond prepared statements celebrating Pride Month and instead place LGBTQ issues more at the center of the campaign while warning of the specific consequences of Republican victories. These are the kinds of actions we need people to take, but not just because it's Pride Month. Yes, just talk about how bad Republicans are and don't do anything good when you have power. That's the exact thing that activists really want. I don't know, man. I'm sure Alvarez is a good person and the AP is just misconstruing their quotes because that's what the media does. The problem may be that even allies are not prepared to speak on the issue, which allowed the framing of LGBTQ people as a threat to catch on, said Fran Hutchins, executive director of the advocacy group Equality Federation. In this election cycle, Republicans have zeroed in on the discussions banned by the Florida bill dubbed by opponents as Don't Say Gay, the participation of transgender students in competitive sports, even though such conflicts are rare, and gender-affirming care for children. Once again, Ohio is mandating genital checks for children to play fucking soccer in 8th grade. They're willing to spend millions and millions of dollars to fund all of this fucking stupid bullshit garbage just because there's like, oh, there might be 3 trans kids in the whole state. So, you know, just throwing that out there. The root of why this is happening is a real lack of familiarity with and lack of understanding for trans folks and what it's like to be transgender, Hutchins said. One notable exception has been Mallory McMorrow, a Democratic state senator from Michigan, who gave an impassioned speech in response to an invocation from a Republican lawmaker who claimed McMorrow, who was running for re-election, wanted to groom and sexualize kindergartners. I love that Republicans, 1 minute, it's let's check the genitals of every child in sports. The next minute, oh, you're the groomer. Isn't that interesting? Like, they could say both at once. They're fine with it. Oh yeah, I know that I really want to rub up on fucking 5-year-olds' junk before they play basketball in gym class, but you're the groomer. The fuck? The video of McMorrow's reaction speech and a related Twitter thread were widely celebrated, but there remains a sense, even by McMorrow, that she fell on a sword other Democrats are dodging. There is a difference between politics and outright hate, she said in April, pondering the reaction to her speech. I think people are frustrated that elected officials haven't done enough to call that out. That maybe Democrats are afraid of talking about religion and faith openly and honestly and calling hate what it is. Democrats are afraid to say what needs to be said. And that is, religion is a stain on humanity. Religion is evil, fundamentally evil, and anyone that traffics in these religious fundamentalist worldviews is a scumbag. That's it. That's the facts. And you know what? There are too many liberals and leftists that still pretend that religion is something that's okay. I'm sorry. We are living in a bubbling theocracy. Oh, but not all religion. Oh, my Christian church is so good, and then my priest maybe cookies. Go fuck yourself. Yes, comma, all religion. When you defend religion, what you are doing is defending this. I'm sorry, I'm sick of these, oh, I'm a good Christian. Really? You're still promoting the institutions of Christianity. What has Christianity been doing for us lately? When's the last time Christianity has done anything positive in this country? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real about this. When's the last time Christianity has done a good thing in the United States of America? I'll wait. I'm going to have to be waiting a long time. Labeling education about sexual orientation and gender identity as grooming connotes the methods sex offenders use to molest children. Again, Republicans, the same people doing this, calling other people groomers, are the same people passing legislation to check children's genitals to play soccer in fucking middle school. And as part of a push by conservatives to speak to parents' fears by equating such education with pornography and pedophilia. The teacher in the main video, Kalina Mills, no relation to the governor, said in a Facebook post that she has taught transgender non-binary preschoolers and that they deserve to be represented in the curriculum, the Portland Press-Herald reported. Public schools are for everyone and should therefore include everyone, the teacher said. Pretty basic. You are literally legally obligated to go to school. If you don't, officers will break into your house and steal you from your family if you don't go to school. So you are obligated to go to school. The school should be designed for everyone. It's that simple. If you are forced to go there by penalty of your parents being thrown in jail, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm crazy, but maybe the schools should be built so that people can succeed of all different kinds. And it's not even just with queer people. It should also be neurotypical people, right? They've got a rampage, right, on the schooling, but non-neurotypical people, right? Autistic people should be allowed to flourish in school. Doesn't happen also. People with, I don't know, stuff like ADHD should be allowed to flourish in school. But schools are one of the largest contributors to this like fake ADHD crisis where they convince a bunch of kids that they're broken because they're just slightly different and they don't absorb information like other people do. So you must be broken. Here's a bunch of pills and medications so that you can actually function in this system, instead of designing a system that makes it so that you can actually happily flourish, right? So I don't know, man. Maybe we need to just rethink schooling in this country because as it stands, it's not so good. Like, I'm just sick of all these fucking schools, like, trying to pretend like they're progressive. I don't know, man. I am 26 years old. That's the first time I've said that out loud, by the way. I am 26 years old. I was in school not that long ago. So unless there's a radical change that's happened in the last 15 years, I can guarantee you schools were not designed in any way, shape, or form for people like me. It goes well for candidates, this is a quote, when they stand up and say what their real values are, and they say what they believe about what's really going on with legislation, said Liz Seaton, a policy director for National LGBTQ Task Force Action Fund. When they speak the truth from values, they will be speaking from their heart, and their constituents will respond. Okay, I agree. Anna Parker, a former Houston mayor who is now CEO, got a little bit of acid going on here. Victory Fund and Institute, a nonpartisan organization that works on behalf of LGBTQ candidates, agreed that LGBTQ allies running for office have a responsibility to stand up and speak out when any of those marginalized communities are attacked. You know what's insane to me? Is they teach you in school, the Holocaust, never forget, never again. Right? And then, they're presented with an active genocide campaign against trans and gay people. I sleep. Holocaust, maybe we'll have a couple more. Fuck it. Could use a little entertainment, huh? This fucking shit sucks. Political observers and activists noted parallels in today's rhetoric with that around same-sex marriage in 1990s and 2000s. It was only 10 years ago that former President Barack Obama, on the heels of Biden as vice president, endorsed same-sex marriage. That was 16 years after another Democratic president, Bill Clinton, signed the law that blocked it. Note, by the way, when Barack Obama and Joe Biden were running for president in 2008, they said that they believe marriage is the sanctity of the man and the woman. There's that moment where Joe Biden was like, I agree completely with Sarah Palin. I hate the gays. So I love that they're giving Biden and Obama credit for that when it's like, right? Like, I mean, you know, shout outs to them, I guess, for changing their mind. But, you know, both presidents were running for re-election and may have been hostages to public opinion, which by Obama's time had swung the other way. Same-sex marriage soon became legal throughout the United States, and the public now sees the sky didn't fall as predicted, advocates said. But now conservative forces, blah, 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 poll released in April. Americans lean slightly toward expanding discussions of sexuality in K-12 classrooms, and some observers say it is only a matter of time before today's anti-LGBTQ rhetoric stops working in Republicans' favor. Great. Anyway, the point of this article is Democrats are basically useless. They don't really give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about us at all. They just don't. And the only time they pretend is during Pride Month. That's all. Kamala Harris sees us and hears us. Joe Biden tweeted his support. But again, the reason why Democrats know that they don't need to cater to us in any way and that they can just watch as Republicans in state legislatures all across the country do some heinous, fucked up shit, the reason that they can just sit back and watch is because they know that queer people aren't going to vote for Republicans unless they're fucking suicidal. So we're fucked. That's it. We're just plain and simple fucked. And not in the good dick way, just to be clear. Yeah, I don't know, man. This fucking shit. It's a big mess. Imagined Mountains. How's your police report going? Did you get a call back yet? Any follow-up? What the fuck is this? Erratic, in quotes. Man in Harlem dies in police custody after hopping on and off moving vehicle. Cops. You know, reminder, I just like to remind everyone, we're looping. Just like the solar system, just like the earth revolves around the sun, Americans revolve around all these fucking stupid conspiracy theories. You'd think, after the George Floyd thing in 2020, you'd think media would have learned a lesson. but they don't learn any lessons. The media goes to sleep, wakes up, and starts over. And the loop begins once again. This is like verbatim, nearly, what the original press release about George Floyd's murder was in late May in 2020. Just, some guy had a medical, his situation just happened to die in police custody. I don't know, man. Hey. God, the media sucks. This is from amny.com, so just avoid them. This is not a good space for news. A 26-year-old man died in police custody Saturday morning after exhibiting erratic behavior on the streets of Harlem, the NYPD reported. Officers from the 30th Precinct first encountered Anthony James, 26, at about 2 a.m. on June 4th, lying on the roadway and, quote, acting erratic near the corner of West 151st Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard. As the officers attempted to engage him, police said James ran from the officers and climbed upon a moving vehicle at the intersection. He then traveled on the vehicle for 2 blocks. I love that. He then traveled on the vehicle. Honestly, that sounds great. For 2 blocks before dismounting. James was then taken into police custody and the officers called EMS for assistance. But as they waited for EMS to arrive, law enforcement sources said James suddenly lost consciousness. The officers performed CPR until and after EMS arrived on the scene. First responders also administered to James the drug naloxone, which typically is used to counteract possible heroin overdoses. EMS rushed James to Harlem Hospital. The case has been presented to the NYPD force, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. So, someone having a little bit of a meltdown, cops get involved, and then they die. Where's the body cams? That's what I'm wondering. Right? They didn't do anything wrong, right? Police are great people. They didn't do anything wrong. So, show us the tape. If it is true that they are just great officers and they just wanted to help this guy, why wouldn't they show the tape? Why wouldn't that be before the press conference, before this thing comes out? Why wouldn't they just immediately release the tape? Look, we did nothing wrong. Here's the tape. And then don't even have a press briefing. Just show the video and then let media respond to the video and let media report about what's in the video. But they don't do that. No one knows what happened. He just lost consciousness. I mean, it's possible, right? It's possible he was on drugs and then had an overdose reaction or something. It's possible. But you know what else is possible? The police fucking killed him. And we know the cops lie. It's documented that every cop ever who's ever been employed has lied almost every step of the way. So, where's the video? There's not going to be any video. They're just going to cover it up. Another person dies in police custody. And then everyone's going to forget. And then maybe, if the cops are lucky, they might get some paid vacation time. Watch the new season of Stranger Things. History repeats itself. Hey, Imagine Mountains, how's your police report going? I noticed that for whatever reason, you are really, you love commenting on everything I do, but you never respond to anything I say. I noticed that. So, I'm under the impression that you're a bot who can't, who isn't actually a human being who's capable of listening to me and responding. And so, with that impression, if you're a bot, you must have been designed to spam on my videos. So, either answer my question, how's your police report, or I'm just going to ban you from my channel, because I don't care about spam bots on my channel. So, but I'm really curious as to how your police report is going. For those of you that don't know, Imagine Mountain said that he called the police on me because I made fun of him in my chat room. I think I called him an idiot or something. And he's like, oh, are you threatening me? And then he said he was going to call the police on me. And for whatever reason, there's no follow-up. I'm just curious. How'd the investigation go, bro? I'm interested. Did they ever get back to you? Anyway. So here we have a video. Rayla Campbell, Massachusetts GOP nominee for Secretary of State, tells Massachusetts Republican Convention that teachers in the Commonwealth are, quote, telling your 5-year-old that he can go and suck another 5-year-old's dick. Things that actually happened for 500. Let's watch.
You can't just sit and go, oh, that's terrible. Maybe somebody else will take care of it. Oh, that's not so nice. Well, I don't think it's nice when they're telling your 5-year-old that he can go and suck another 5-year-old's dick, do you?
And then look at this stupid fucking bitch's face. She's like, nailed it. Like, she's like, oh, I nailed it. And then everyone in the crowd, woo! Like, what? Like, look at her face. She nailed it. Damn. She fucking nailed it. What a profound goddamn statement of fact.
This is what they're doing. You can't just...
This is what they're doing. Citation needed. Like, oh, hello, Max. Whenever I clap, Max thinks I'm calling him. Hello. But this is like, these motherfuckers, man, I can't with this shit. Like, when I was in fucking kindergarten and first grade and second grade and almost probably every year of my schooling, teachers would mention, oh, can't put the boys and girls together because we don't want anything bad to happen. You know, the boys and the girls. That's what why can't you put boys and girls together? What if they start sucking each other's dicks? I don't know, man. Heterosexuality is literally in every part of society. Like, you watch a Disney movie, heterosexuality in your face. Rated PG films. Oh, the prince is saving the princess. Oh, and then they kiss each other. Like, I'm seeing, like, these people and their overreacting fucking stupid garbage. When it's heterosexuality, oh, it's natural, it's normal, and we're gonna shove it down your throat. When it's homosexuality, they're gonna rape your kids! This fucking shit is ridiculous, man. And again, like I was saying earlier, are Democrats gonna do anything about it? Nope. Once again, I would like to remind everyone, if you are queer in this country, no one is going to save you. No one will even think about saving you. You are on your own. That's it. These people, they're going to take power. Democrats aren't going to do anything to stop them. They're going to take power, and they're going to destroy all of us. That's what's going to happen. And we're just going to have to watch in horror as these people take power. You know, Massachusetts has a Republican governor, right? I thought Massachusetts was a liberal coastal. Yeah, they got a fucking Republican governor. There's this, like, meme in these so-called blue states. Maryland's another one. Vermont. Where they're like, well, you know, we like bipartisanship. So we got, you know, Democrats on everything, but we'll give these Republicans in the governor and we'll let them have a chance. You know, just trying to get some bipartisanship. What? But that's the thing that they do. These so-called liberals think that it's like, oh, you know, we're putting our differences aside to get at the compromises, and they vote for Republicans on the state level all the time. These fucking people are stupid. Like, they're just... But these are the people that are leading in the GOP. These are the people that are leading in the GOP. They're fucking crazy. And I just want to like note, by the way, I want to contrast this. A black woman running as a Republican, throwing gay people under the bus. Again, I'm sorry, man, but what a fucking idiot. Like any minority group that's going to think that they're going to become a fascist and that's going to work out well for them in the end. What a fucking moron. Because the rest of the Republicans, I got this story here. Blake Masters blames gun violence on, quote, black people, frankly. So, great team. Great team, Rayla Campbell. You're on the winning team. You're gonna do great. I'm sure everything is gonna work out for you. And you know what? Honestly, I wish the worst outcome for these people. I really do hope that they get what they want. I hope that they get the Christian fascist theocracy that they dream of, and that their leaders then take care of them, after they take care of us, of course. Because she deserves it. If anyone fucking deserves it, this stupid fucking bitch does. Jesus fucking Christ. So anyway, let's see this Blake Masters one. This one, I saw this morning. And it's like, what? All right. Blake Masters blames gun violence on, quote, black people, frankly. Arizona Senate candidate has a unique theory about why there's a gun violence problem in the United States. I don't know if it's a unique theory, Daily Beast. It seems like a very tried and true theory of the Republican Party. Tech investor, an Arizona Republican Senate hopeful, Blake Masters, acknowledges that the United States is a gun violence problem. But he also has a theory about why there's a problem. Quote, it's black people, frankly. Masters boiled the issue down in an April 11th interview on the Jeff Orovitz Show podcast, telling the host that, quote, we do have a gun violence problem in this country, and it's gang violence. It's people in Chicago, St. Louis shooting each other. Very often, black people, frankly, Masters clarified. And the Democrats don't want to do anything about it. Now, that part's true. The Democrats do not want to do anything about anything. That part's true. It's unclear why Masters, who has pushed the baseless Great Replacement conspiracy theory narrative, felt compelled to single out black people. Moments earlier in the interview, during a discussion about Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation hearing, Masters told Orovitz that most Americans just want to stop obsessing about race all the time. Yeah, I agree. I would love to stop obsessing over race. So that's why I'm not a racist. I would prefer if everyone was not a racist and we could move on from this race bullshit. That's my preference. But then you have these motherfuckers that are like, it's the blacks! They're ruining the world! And why do people want to keep talking about race all the time? I mean, it's the black people. They're all evil and garbage. But they're the liberals. They're talking about race all the time. What? The left's biggest tool in their toolkit is to divide people on the basis of race, and that's really messed up. So one minute, it's the blacks that are the problem. The next minute, the left really wants to divide people on race. And they just say these things. That's the thing. Like, someone says that, and I'm like, is this a comedy act? Are you putting on a show? Like, am I supposed to clap and laugh at your show? Like, what is, the fact that people say these things and everyone in whatever room they're in doesn't immediately start laughing at them, that says a lot about society. When someone says that shit, the immediate response should be just laughter. Like, you know what the problem is? Just the blacks. And you know what? The left keeps dividing people on race. Anyone? What? No, I'm serious. Oh no! Republicans frequently cite urban gang violence, most often in Chicago, in attempts to tap out of the gun control debate. While their redirections are often as misleading as they are cliche, those officials aren't always as forthright as Masters about their racial undertones. But Masters, whom the white nationalist website VDare feted, I don't even know what that means, last year as an immigration patriot, was quite clear about his vision of two Americas. After pinning gun violence on gangs and black people and saying falsely the Democratic administrations don't want to do anything about gang shootings, I will say that that part is true. Democrats literally do not want to do anything about gang shootings. They don't want to do anything about any shootings. They don't want to do anything about anything. That part is true. So I don't know why the Daily Beast is trying to run propaganda campaigns for the Democrats, because that's not helping anybody. All that's doing is feeding into the narrative that the right is building, where they say the media is covering up. Name one thing any Democrat has actually done to advance anything in regards to gun violence in this country. Mental health care, physical health care, economic conditions. They don't want to do anything. Now, again, Republicans also don't want to do anything. With this idea that Democrats are fighting tooth and nail to get things done. It's just, let's be real, it's made up. The Stanford-educated libertarian went on to complain to Orovitz that gun control efforts target law-abiding people like you and me. When they ban ghost guns and pistol braces, that's all about disarming law-abiding people like you and me. That's what it's about, Master said, referencing government efforts to crack down on the surge in privately made, untraceable firearms. They care that we can't have guns to defend ourselves. What are you defending yourself from, dude? The black person walking down the street? What are you fucking defending yourself from? Like, I mean, seriously. Like, that's the thing. I will never understand why right-wingers are so obsessed with guns. They have all the power. They have all the influence. All the corporations agree with everything that they say. What the fuck are they defending themselves from? I understand why a black person would want to have a gun. Because there's a whole fucking half the country that are racist fucking psychopaths that just want to shoot them dead in the fucking streets all the time. So that makes sense to me. I understand why a fucking trans person or a gay person would want a gun. Because there's half the fucking country that wants to fucking commit a genocide campaign against us. That makes sense to me. Why are all these white conservative Republicans obsessed with guns? Like, that's the thing. Like, what are you defending yourself from? I'm serious. The reason that they stockpile guns is because the moment that an opportunity arises for them to use those guns against black people, queer people, whoever they can, they will take that opportunity. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse as an example. An opportunity arose for him to justifiably go into a protest and kill as many people as he could. And he did. And he got away with it. That's what they're stockpiling for. They're waiting for the opportunity to come. Because when that opportunity comes for them to commit mass slaughter on anyone that they want to be prepared. They want to have all their guns in order so that as soon as they feel like it's possible, they go out and do it. That's why they stockpile guns. They're not stockpiling guns to defend themselves. What the fuck are they defending themselves over? Masters, a Bitcoin evangelist who routinely hawks automated surveillance technology developed by his benefactor, billionaire tech mogul Peter Thiel, claimed that it's pretty rare for homemade firearms to show up in criminal activity. What does that even mean? It's pretty rare, but his information might be outdated. Ghost guns aren't just built and owned by technocrats to be appreciated as a physical instantiations of political theory. Interesting. They're also on the rise among criminals, including in gang activity, according to officials with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. 3 great things that go great together. As well as fresh police data Vice published this week, which documents a 90% increase in seizures last year. The day of the Orovitz interview, President Joe Biden announced a rule change to address the ghost gun problem. In response, Masters tweeted a photo of his own ghost gun kit, claiming that he would be a felon under the new rule if he made another one just like it today. That's not accurate. The Biden administration has not banned those weapons, which don't have serial numbers and can be 3D printed at home. The new rule doesn't make it illegal to build your own gun. It applies to people who sell gun kits. Those sellers are now required to become licensed firearm dealers, run background checks on buyers, and include serial numbers on their kits. The rule also targets violence in urban areas, a sore point for Masters, where ghost guns are multiplying. Last year, police seized more than 225 of the weapons in New York City, along with 300 seizures in Baltimore, 455 in Chicago. CBS News reported, and government data shows that law enforcement agencies reported recovering 20,000 suspected ghost guns in criminal investigations last year alone, nearly as many seized over the previous 4 years of combined. So, you can read the rest of this. Masters won Trump's endorsement on Thursday, 9 days after an 18-year-old used a legally purchased semi-automatic rifle to slaughter 19 elementary school students and 2 teachers in Uvalde, Texas. So this is a Trump-endorsed guy, Peter Thiel-backed, absolute fucking psycho. Absolute goddamn psycho. These motherfuckers, they're insane. They're insane. They're absolutely insane. Like, right-wing gun nuts are fucking insane. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. They're fucking crazy. They're crazy-ass motherfuckers. They got doo-doo in their brains. Like, they're leaking doo-doo out of their brains. I don't know what to...
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
It's fucking crazy shit. Hello, Sir Yvain. How's it going? You like the article? Absolutely. Found this channel through her playing Doom Wads. It's happening. The plan is functioning. By the way, Wednesday, I will be streaming yet again some Doom Wads. So, join me on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I am doing 2 streams a week for Doom now. Up from 1, so we have a 100% increase in Doom streams. We have doubled the amount of Doom streams on a weekly basis from 1 to 2. I think I'm just going to do Wednesday and Thursday. So, we'll see. But I'm not sure yet on what the second day is going to be. I could also do Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. I'll get into a more thought-out routine in the future. But, yeah, so. Drinking some LaCroix. We got more Pepino flavor. More Pepino. My favorite flavor, more Pepino. It's a good flavor. More Pepino. LaCroix. All right. So, we have entered our daily mass shooting segments. That's right, everybody. We did it. America. Another one! We did it! Another mass shooting in America. Congrats, everyone. I would like to thank the Academy. I'd honestly like to thank God for this day. I'm glad we made it here. Another mass shooting. And once again, I'm going to remind everyone, nothing will happen. Nothing! The people in power will do what? What will they do? What will they do? Nothing! The people that want to have power... Right? The people that are going to campaign for power, what are they going to do? When they get power, they're going to do, wait for it, nothing! They're going to do nothing. Why? Because this is America, baby. This is America. Police, Tennessee shooting leads to 3 dead, 14 injured. Great. Chattanooga, Tennessee. By the way, there was another mass shooting in Chattanooga last weekend, I believe, as well. I believe this is 2 in a 7-day period. I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank Jesus for this day. What a great day to be alive. A shooting near a Tennessee nightclub early Sunday led to 3 deaths and 14 people suffering gunshot wounds and other injuries, police said. 14 people were hit by gunfire and 3 were hit by vehicles while trying to flee the scene, according to Chattanooga Police Chief, blah, blah, blah. 2 people died from gunshot wounds and 1 person died after being hit by a vehicle. 16 of the victims were adults and 1 was a juvenile. Why the fuck do these motherfuckers say the word juvenile? They're a fucking child, a teenager. Use actual English. We have a suspected juvenile that was shot. Juvenile? Like, what the fuck kind of wording is this? Like, this is why cops are fucking stupid? Yes, there's a juvenile. It's so dehumanizing to call someone a fucking juvenile. Chattanooga Mayor Tim Kelly, who described himself as an avid hunter and gun owner, called on Congress to enact common sense regulations. You know what I hate about these fucking morons and their common sense fucking regulations? Is common sense, first of all, there is no common sense. No such thing. Whatever kind of, and also, if there was common sense, it wouldn't be great. You want to know why? Because the common person in this country is a fucking idiot. The average American's a fucking dumpster sludge fuckface motherfucker of a dumbass. So let's assume that there was common sense. I would want to do the opposite of common sense because the common American is a fucking idiot. So, but my point here is common sense means something different to everyone else. Anyone reading common sense regulations, right? They're going to have their own perception of what that is. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't fucking mean anything. The mayor is just trying to get through another press conference. That's it. He's just trying to make it through the day with as little anxiety as he can. We need common sense regulations. Yes, we do. Yeah. The fuck does that mean? That doesn't mean taking guns away from responsible gun owners, but it does mean mandatory background checks and prohibiting high-capacity magazines that allow shooters to hurt dozens of people without ever having to reload, he said at a press conference. Kelly said his administration would announce new steps in the coming weeks aimed at reducing gun violence locally. Oh, I wonder what these new steps are going to be. More cops? Huh? Because that's my favorite new step. Whenever you see this fucking shit, these stupid fucking morons are like, let's get some more cops in there. Get some more cops. Get some more good guys with some guns. Officers responded to a report of a shooting at 2:42 a.m. on McKaylee Avenue near a nightclub and found multiple victims upon arrival. Murphy said officers immediately began rendering aid, blah, blah, blah. There were multiple shooters, and Murphy asked anyone in the community with information about the shooting to come forward. She said police believe it was an isolated incident. Authorities don't believe there's an ongoing public safety threat. So, they didn't catch someone? Same thing in Philadelphia. Same thing in Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona. This is the last 3 mass shootings I've covered on my channel. The police didn't do anything. Isn't that like fascinating? We spend all this money on police. They tell us they're going to protect and serve. And every mass shooting that happens, they don't do anything. Uvalde, nothing. Isn't that great? The cops show up late. What's going on? And then they get in front of the cameras and say, well, unfortunately, we didn't get anybody. The shooting comes the weekend after 6 juveniles were wounded during an exchange of gunfire in downtown Chattanooga Business District. Anyone that says the word juvenile, honestly, man, like, you need to fucking have a mental health examination. I will pay for that shit. Anyone that says the word juvenile in any remotely serious context really needs therapy. Like, that's some weirdo, fucked up psycho language, man. I don't know, man. Kids getting shot. Oh, the juveniles were injured. What? Kids got shot, you mean? Like, what is this fucking vague, fucking stupid fucking language? It's going to be a long summer, and we have got to get out in front of it and put a stop to it, Kelly said. Well, that's not going to happen. This fucking shit, man. The summer of murder is what this is. All over the country. People getting fucking murdered. Everywhere. Everywhere. And guess what? Like I said, no one's gonna do anything! Joe Biden's not gonna do anything. The stupid shitfuck mayor of whatever city happens next, they're not gonna do anything. The cop's not gonna do anything. It's just gonna keep happening. Mass shootings every day. Is there gonna be one today? There might be one happening right now. Who knows? I'll find out by tomorrow and I'll let you know. What are we, like 4 days in a row? Mass shootings every day? Some days we have 2 in a row. 2 in one day, I mean. This is again, we're going for the record here. This is great. This fucking shit, man. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little jaded on this subject. I obviously want things to happen. I want our society to be better off. I just don't have any faith that it will be. I will advocate that our society get better. I will advocate that people, have solidarity with one another instead of trying to kill one another. But my YouTube show's got like fucking 2 viewers. No one cares about my fucking show. So, I don't know, man. I'm obviously I'm hoping for the best outcome, but let's be real. It's not going to happen. We can try. We can pray. We can do our best, and doing our best should be something we all strive to do. We shouldn't give up. But there you go. So we got 2 for 1 here. Should I put the seltzer in the coffee? Diabolical. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. Let's see what could possibly go wrong. Turns out a lot could go wrong with combining seltzer and coffee. So, I've done the experiment. And I can provide to you the results. Not good, I have to tell you. Get the pitchforks, $2. Money for tip jar. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into our movie review portion of the program. $2. God damn it, Bodan. Whenever Bodan says something that, like, I say all the time, that, like, I know for a fact he only said it because I say it, like, $2. That's so good. Goddamn $2. Let's go, Bodan. I agree. All right, y'all. So where are the movie fans in the chat? Sounded disgusting. I just didn't feel like having both of my hands full, you know? I feel consolidate the beverages. Turned out not so good. Yes, Daniel Johnson. Or you fucking get up sooner. Set a fucking alarm here. The Purge movies vary in quality. First is lousy. Alright, unconditional prong. Nope. The first Purge movie is a home invasion slasher thriller, and don't expect anything more. Right? It's the first movie. It's a home invasion. And the Purge is just the plot point that creates the lockdown procedure, right? Every home invasion movie, something's got to happen that gets them stuck inside the home, right? You know, like I reviewed that Grand Isle, Nicolas Cage. In that movie, it's a home invasion movie, right? Kind of. But in that movie, it's a hurricane, which is why they don't leave the house. A lot of the times people just get thrown in a building and it's boarded up. The Purge uses the Purge as a vehicle, as the setup for a home invasion movie. Now, in my opinion, right, I think that The Purge as an idea was good, and that I like the sequels as well, because, you know, they go off of that in a new direction. But the first movie is a home invasion movie. And right, so if you're analyzing it, comparing it to the sequels, I mean, it's a different, you know, it's, I don't know. It's like comparing something to something, and it's a bad comparison, okay? Not good. I have to say this is truly awful. Anyway, let's get into some goddams. So the other day I watched a film for the first time. I know, can you believe it? I watched Alien the other day. Alien. It's a movie about Alien. Singular. I've never seen this movie before, but a lot of people have recommended it to me over the years. Never seen it. Never seen any Alien movie ever. And this is my first one. And I gotta say, whoa! It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, this movie was really, really good. The first thing I loved about this movie is the intense details of, like, the models for the spaceship, the set design, the alien itself, like the like asteroid or planet or whatever it was that they landed on. Everything in this movie was so intensely hyper detailed and was such a pleasure to look at. Like, I just want to get that out of the way. And so this movie is like a horror movie. It's like a slasher movie, but in space with an alien, right? That's what it kind of reminded me of. Kind of like, you know, A Nightmare on Elm Street, but not as campy or cheesy. But, like, it is a slasher movie, a classic horror slasher, in that kind of style, where you've got a whole cast and the space crew, and then some villain is just picking them off one by one by one by one. And it's great. So one thing I love about this movie is that a lot of the times in the movie, you can see the alien running around in the background or, like, blending in with the background. And, like, I can guarantee you that this is a movie, I've only seen it once, this is my first time viewing it, but I can guarantee that seeing it a second time, only this, next time I watch this movie, I'm going to be just watching the background. You know what I mean? So this is a movie I feel like would definitely benefit from multiple viewings. So anyway, you know, they're on like there's a space crew, and they're going to like, you know, a routine, you know, like mission to get like minerals or something, right? But there's like a clause in their contract because like in this world it's like a hyper capitalist space world, right? Where like hyper capitalists are controlling everything. So they conscript them to basically investigate alien life. Aliens turn out, you know, to kill them. They're bad. They're not good aliens, right? So, you know, they're going down to this like asteroid or planet or something. I don't know, man. And one of the guys finds an alien egg. It hatches, and you know, there's an alien that, you know, I guess they're called the face hugger, right? Because they attach itself to the face. And like every step of the way, right? Like all the humans make like the worst decisions possible, right? And you know what's also interesting is this movie battles with sexism in a really interesting way, where the female lead of the film is constantly undermined at every turn, and she's always correct, right? Like every step of the way, she's like, no, we got to do quarantine procedure. And then the man is like, and then they get everyone killed. So I'm just saying, man, this movie is feminism. I mean, this is a feminist film when you really think about it. All the men in this movie are garbage. They're dumb. They're stupid. And they get everyone else killed. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, one of the big twists in this movie was that one of the crew members, the doctor, is secretly a robot. They just kind of throw that out there. There's like also robots in this universe that look like humans or like synthetic droids, you know, like some from Fallout or whatever. And it turns out that that robot knew that the alien was going to be there. Probably didn't know what the alien was, but just knew that there was going to be an alien there. And you know, coerce them to bring the alien back, skip the quarantine procedures, right? Because they're a robot. They don't have any self-preservation or anything. And of course, all the men love to listen to other men, right? So that's, you know, if the robot was a woman, you know, that wouldn't have worked nearly as well. But no, I mean, seriously, like this movie was very, very good. My favorite scene was probably when the guy who I swear to God was rolling blunts, I don't know exactly what he was smoking, but he was rolling something, is in this like area with rain, right? Yeah, so they're in a spaceship, and part of the spaceship has rain in it, I guess, because why not? So he's in this part of the spaceship that has rain, and like, you know, like this is like when the alien, I think this is the first time the alien kills someone, or like in a scene like where they're running around looking for it. And I thought that part was probably my favorite, because like just the rain, again, I was enthralled with the fact that why is there rain on a spaceship? But anyway, that's a whole different story. And so, you know, he's wandering around, and, you know, there's an alien lurking in the background. He's looking for the cat. There's a cat on the spaceship, by the way. Shout outs to that cat. Looking for the cat, and then they find the cat, and then the cat's just like, yeah, I'm gonna stay back here. And then, you know, the alien kills the guy. I don't know what that guy was smoking, but it was something, right? So anyway, I thought that this movie was really, really good. I love the alien transformations, right? Like, because it's always keeping you guessing, right? And like, especially seeing this movie for the first time, I have heard enough about the movie that I did know that, like, you know, when the face hugger form stops, right? Like, I'm aware that there's other forms just because people have spoiled the movie because I've just lived on this planet Earth. But like the scene when they think the guy's cured, right? And they're all eating dinner, and then the fucking motherfucker bursts out of his chest. Oh, that was great. That was great. And everyone's like freaking the fuck out. And imagine being that guy, right? So you land on another like world of some kind. You're looking for an alien. Next thing you know, you wake up, everyone's freaking out, and then they're like, oh shit, alright, I guess you're better. Let's eat some fucking food. You're in the middle of eating a goddamn great dinner, and then boom, some motherfucker just bursts out of your chest. You're dead now. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I feel bad for that guy. Like, that guy did nothing wrong. That guy did nothing fucking wrong, man. That was sad to watch, you know, like, wow, what a shame. But anyway, so of course, like, you know, the thing about this movie that's like a classic horror film is that like one by one the characters get split up and they decide to split up for stupid reasons. They split up, they get picked off, they get killed. One thing I also like about the movie is that the ship is so huge for no reason. I mean, they've got a built-in rain area. It's raining in the spaceship. I don't know why the fuck. But anyway, I just thought the sets were amazing to watch. Like, just looking at all the hyper detail of the sets, I wish I could just like go inside of the Alien set. Is this a thing that exists? Like why don't they have like an amusement park where you could just like go inside the sets of movies like this? Like, it's got to exist. Can you go and visit the Alien set? Like, I want to go there because that shit was beautiful. There was so many details. Again, I use the term hyper detail, because it's like it's every small area is packed to the brim with details, right? Like, all the walls are unique. There's like almost like there's some uniformity, but then there's some like asymmetry and all it's just great. It's great. It's all amazing. That's my, like, I love set designs. I want to walk around in the Alien set. If that's allowed, let me do it. And I'm aware that there's sequels. I'm going to watch the sequels at some point. And I just, again, this movie was really fun to watch. Now, the ending as well, also pretty good. The female lead takes a spaceship, like a rescue, or what is it, the fucking pod or whatever. I don't know what they're called. And they try to get out, but the alien's on the pod too. And then, like, she has to, like, fucking empty the whole pod. She straps herself to the fucking thing with the seatbelt on, and then the alien files out to space. It was great. It was great. This was a great movie, for sure. I'm in. So I can't wait to watch the sequels. And I had a really good time watching Alien. So I don't really know much about the sequels, I'm going to be honest. So no one spoil that shit for me. The most interesting thing about this movie was done in 1979 at a very small budget. The most expensive set was the alien spaceship inside. Sure, yeah. The set design was fucking amazing. The set design was really fucking good. It was just like, it was a pleasure to watch. And I watched this the other day after I watched A Clockwork Orange. So I was still like, you know, I was not nearly peaking on shrooms or anything, but I was maybe like, you know, 4.5 hours after ingesting, maybe 5 hours. So like little bit of that come down effect, right? As I started watching this movie. And so like that made me really like, I was just enthralled with the sets and the model of the spaceship and all of that. It was just, I love practical effects. In my opinion, like CG, I understand why it exists. It has a place. I get it. But one of my favorite things about older movies is how they, like, practical effects are just amazing. It's one of the reasons why the Muppet movies and the Muppet series are one of my favorites in anything. Like Jim Henson, I love his movies because of the practical stuff. Like, they're all puppets. They all really exist. They're all dancing around, right? There's so, like, the set design, or, like, I just love practical effects. I love it. Like, 2001, such great practical effects. I love how they build models and set. It's so good. Like, CG, I get why it exists. It makes making movies easier. I understand it. But goddamn, there is something special about having a practical, like, there is an actual model of that alien ship that they used, right? Like, and these sets actually exist in the physical 3-dimension space. I love it. I love practical effects. I'm so into it. So any movie, right, that has practical effects, I'm just such a huge fan of. It's just by default. I just am so much more impressed with the art when it comes to practical stuff. And Alien does a really good job on that angle. So again, another great movie. This was great. I'm excited to watch the sequels. And And there you go. It's just Alien. There's only one. I mean, one alien is bad enough. I know the next movie is called Aliens. I mean, one alien, not so good. You got multiple, and that sounds like a nightmare. So I'm excited to watch the sequels. Don't spoil that shit for me, though, you motherfuckers. Oh, I love Scream. I've seen all the Final Destinations. Scream is great. I've seen all of them except for the most recent one. Yeah, Bodan is nerding the fuck out. Cloud Atlas, I have not. One of my things that I love about Scream is that it's very, like, meta and self-aware. Right? Like, the first one is, like, kind of like a pseudo-parody of the slasher genre. And then the second and third ones are just, like, parodies of the first one. And I love that. I love that self-awareness. Like, to me, it's just, like, it's just fun. Scream 4, pretty decent. I haven't seen the latest one. I don't know. Isn't it like called Scream? Like they're doing like a reboot? I don't know what it is. And I also know that there's that, like, what was it, like an MTV series as well? He said, tell no one you only saw Alien in 2012. I will be honest, like, movies not really my thing. Like, they were not my thing until, like, very recently. Like, I've always, like, liked watching movies every once in a while. But, like, most of my life I'd watch, like, maybe 15 movies a year. You know what I mean? But last couple years, you know, with the pandemic and everything, I just got more into movies than I ever have been. So, Final Destination 5 is good. I have not seen Underworld. I have seen John Carpenter's The Thing. I want to do a series where I watch all 3 Thing movies and compare and contrast them. Because I've seen the newest one, I think like 2006 or whatever. I don't know if there's a 4th one. And I've seen John Carpenter's. But I haven't seen the original. So I'd like to watch all of them at some point. Yeah, you bet. Like, if y'all, you know, I'm going to be doing, every October I do a special for the entire month of October. I'm going to be doing a lot of horror movies in October. So, like, I'm going to be going to town. I'm saving up some horror series. I'm going to be doing some entire franchises. I'll watch Underworld, Bodan, for sure. I mean, the only reason I watched the Blade films was because Netflix was jamming them down my throat, saying, we're leaving Netflix very soon. Watch them now. So, you know, I'm like, well, I'll watch them now. But yeah, I'll check out Underworld for sure. Yeah, Final Destination 5 is great, though. I love the way it wraps into the first one. So good. Spoiler alert. But yeah, this October, I'm going to be doing a lot of horror movie reviews. Netflix fucking sucks. Like, I think Netflix is really bad. Like, the fact that Netflix doesn't have just an A to Z. Every other streaming service, like, I've got Hulu and HBO Max and AMC Plus, and they all have Here's every movie on the streaming platform, A to Z. You know what I mean? Netflix, the browsing Netflix is horrifying. It is such a it is a nightmare to browse Netflix. They don't have a fucking A to Z. And then when you look, I want to look at all the horror movies on Netflix. There is no, here's all the horror movies on Netflix. Here's spiritual movies. Here's supernatural movies. Here's psychological horror, ghost horror, classic horror. Like, can't you just show me all the fucking horror movies, motherfucker? I don't know why Netflix makes it so fucking difficult to browse their own fucking website, man. Really, honestly, like, I waste so much time. Sometimes I'm just browsing Netflix for that shit. And then I'm just like, I'm frustrated that I can't use the website because its UI is horrible. And then I just go to So I don't know, man. I really want to cancel Netflix. But there is a couple things on there that I kind of like. Like Stranger Things. I started watching Stranger Things 4. By the way, the first scene in Stranger Things 4. Okay, so I was watching Stranger Things 4. And then it pops up, the first thing in the whole thing, right, is like, we filmed this before the Uvalde mass shooting. And, it might be a little bad. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm thinking, like, what? Why would Stranger Things 4 be talking about the Uvalde mass shooting? What's going to happen? And then, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So, but I'm watching that still. But there's a couple of Netflix things that are worth it. But man, oh man, that shit fucking sucks. I just wish they had, like, you can browse all. Why is that? Why don't they just let you browse all? I don't know, man. That fucking shit is so weird. I've only watched the first episode, so don't spoil it. God, that coffee with the seltzer combo, that tastes worse than alcohol. Like, I'd rather drink straight vodka than that kind of shit. Bodans, get a list ready and present it to me in, like, September. And I'll start watching them late September for the October marathon. I've seen Blade Runner and the second one. I think Blade Runner, like, the first one is way better than 2049. In my opinion. Like, I think they're both okay. Well, I think the first one's really good and the second one's okay. But the first Blade Runner is really, really, really good. I'd like to watch it again because I haven't seen it in many years. And Blade Runner's soundtrack was made by the same fella that did the soundtrack for Cosmos. So that's my little tidbit that I like about Blade Runner. Vangelis, who died recently, by the way. RIP. Anyway, that's the show. Thank you for watching the show. We have entered the random noises and faces portion of the program. All right, everyone. I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good day.
But the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the you know the thing.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
That will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy. The guys who are the kleptocracy. But these... But these are bad guys. I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
They're coming all over the place. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Once they think they can get in, they're coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your...
Dub is a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines and that they're defective devices.